This month's episode is about a gentleman committing workers' compensation fraud. He's a guy that is an air conditioning refrigeration mechanic, and he worked for a well-known company, and they hit a lot of the commercial businesses like Walmart and grocery stores and things like that. One day, he was at a grocery store, he was just finishing up his job, and for whatever reasons, the loss prevention folks were watching him on camera, and they watched him steal some stuff and put it inside his tool bag and then walk out of the store without paying. They called his boss responded to the grocery store, watched the video, it was crystal clear that he had been caught stealing. So they called the employee in the next day. Once he realized he was under investigation for shoplifting and they allowed him to watch the video, he suddenly complained of a workers' compensation claim and said he had hurt his back that day and wanted to go out on workers' comp and collect workers' compensation benefits. He actually did leave his job and he collected workers' compensation over $930 a week every week for the next several weeks. He had to go through physical therapy, that's what he was complaining of, a back injury, but then he never showed up at any of his physical therapy appointments because they were during the day, which is sort of a red flag. So they started looking at him and found that he actually was showing up at a competitor's business, doing the exact same job that he had just left on workers' comp. So they made that referral to the fraud unit, we opened a case on it, we followed the gentleman, we noticed exactly where he was working. We served a subpoena on his new employer, collected all his records, his application for the job, all his paychecks, everything. We went to his bank account, pulled all his bank records so we could see his workers' compensation benefits going into his bank as well as the checks from his new employer. At that point, the adjuster for the carrier on workers' comp called him and asked him how he was feeling, and he said he was in a lot of pain. They asked him if he had been working, and he said he would not. He was trying to find a job, but he's been too much pain to get a job, which were all lies pursuant to a claim for benefit, which is a Class A felony in New Hampshire. After collecting all the records and hearing all the information that he was telling the adjuster, I met with the guy one day as he was walking off the job from a grocery store and asked if he'd have a seat in my car and we could talk about this claim. He didn't disappoint me. He lied for about the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then I showed him everything I had collected. At that point, he admitted that he had been collecting workers' comp while working full-time, doing the exact same job, and he was never actually hurt. He said he was taking the money from workers' comp because he thought he was actually stealing money from the employer who was going to fire him, and he was mad at that company. He said had he realized that the money he was stealing was actually from an insurance carrier, he may not have stolen the money. That's not a good enough excuse. He was indicted on 2 Class A felony accounts, a reimbursement back to the insurance company for about $9,000, and then he lost the second job that he had just started because they found out he was a thief. To report insurance fraud, email nhfraud@ins.nh.gov, call 1-800-852-3416, or visit nh.gov/insurance.